What were some I can't believe I'm getting paid for this moments at your job? My old job deliberately gave us downtime when work was slow and wouldn't give us more to do till like 3. So me and my co-workers downloaded Left 4 Dead and played co-op LOL. But then the bosses were mad we had so much free time, like WTF, you're the ones who decided to make it like this. I sometimes use Paint to alter screenshots of technical drawings, which I then paste into PowerPoint to add annotations and then print the whole thing into monochrome PDF. And you best believe we're changing big money for all of this. Also, we print every email. That last sentence hurt me in the planet. Worked retail and had to sticker hundreds of items of clothing with little black sale stickers. Just as I'm finishing up, I was told they changed their mind and wanted me to use red stickers instead. So I went back over every item with red stickers. It was also a public holiday in Australia, so I was paid 2.5x my average pay and spent 6 hours of my shift doing just that. Thanks God people are different in this regard. I think I'd go mental after an hour of applying stickers. Right now, I work in a call center for a government body here in the UK. Since February, I've been paid £12 an hour to sit here and do nothing at all. I have taken personally, myself, since February, 6 calls, but I am so bored. That's the worst part about having a job with so much downtime. The boredom. Sure, I enjoy getting paid to sit and do nothing but scroll on my phone and listen to podcasts, but my brain is rotting. LOL. I lifeguarded for 3 years, so a lot. When it gets rainy and everyone leaves the pool, they normally keep us around just in case it clears up. We watch TV and raid the snack bar. We play in the pool sometimes and blast music on the speakers. Having a party with a bunch of cute girl lifeguards while getting paid by the hour, not a bad gig. Can confirm currently at work as lifeguard. Live. Laugh. Lifeguard. In a past job, albeit a low paid one, I got to help raise a baby sea otter, and one day I had the task of combing and fluffing up her fur to keep her waterproof and help her float. I was literally being paid to groom an adorable baby otter. I want a job sitting at home petting my bunnies. Thank you for inspiring me to reach for my dreams. Please tell us you put otter fluffer on your resume. I used to make video content for social media to drive ticket sales for a major arts festival. I would go to the tech rehearsal for major operas, plays, ballet, etc. There would be the full cast and orchestra performing as if they were playing to a full house, but it was just me and my camera. I could move around to get the right shot. I could go backstage and interview the performers and whoever else was in my brief to talk to. I got to tour around with an opera once. I have no background in this. I'm completely self-taught and had only done really pedestrian jobs before this. It was amazing. I never would have wanted to go to an opera or ballet before this came along. If you ever have the chance to see something like this, go. It's not as boring as you think it will be. I used to get paid to hack into companies' networks. For the longest time it was I can't believe I get to do this legally and get paid stupid amounts of money for it. Then it just started pissing me off when I realized all the company's network security suck. Many were hiring me for a compliance checkbox, and when I'd come back the following year they hadn't done anything. In some cases not even change the damn passwords I used from the year prior. I now maintain a large list of companies I will never do business with using any type of credit card, because I'm 110% positive it will be compromised if it hasn't been already. This seems like the digital version of I worked at this restaurant, and after seeing how they make their food I will never eat there again. I work 8 hours a day. I actually work 20 minutes to a half hour of that. I read Reddit most of the day. What kind of engineer are you? I write smut for a living. Every now and then, I write a line or get an idea for a story that's so ridiculously over the top that I genuinely have to take a step away from my laptop for a second and question exactly how it is this became my life. My personal favorite is the very nice email I got from someone who wanted me to commission me to write a story about him being sounded by a Hot Wheels car. He wanted the first half of the story to be about the car stretching out his, as it went in great detail, and the second half to be about the damage the car's wing mirrors did to his frontal hole as it came out. I politely declined. I also love my job, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't want to do anything else. It's just effing odd sometimes. Ciao. I was a photojournalist, getting paid to sit on the sidelines of major sporting matches, at the sound desk or in the pit of bands from AC/DC to ZZ Top, meet all sorts of interesting people and create a photo to help tell their story. I photographed John Cleese during a sound check. He went on a 20-minute rant about photographers. I had to ask him to stop as I was laughing so hard I couldn't take pictures. Met Jackie Stewart and heard him speak about his time as a Formula 1 driver. It was an amazing job, and one I was very lucky to do for as long as I did. Some days I would think some people would pay to be able to do this. There were crap days too, sitting in the hot sun at a murder scene all day. Watching police bag evidence sucks, as does attending car crashes in the middle of the night, in the rain. But I remember the good days better than the bad ones. Ex-boss. They bought my department first class high-speed train tickets to get there, paid all food, rooms, etc., and let us wander around and see all the technology and innovations. Every customer or supplier of ours waved us into their booth, gave us beer, food, and free swag. After the expo, there was a company party on the expo floor in our booth. Free food, booze, and seeing probably 90% of senior staff of our company completely hammered. Aside from that, as a recent grad who had previously only had temp and part-time jobs, I'm still amazed I have paid vacation, and a lot of it at that. I once worked as a graphic designer for a well-known website Facebook page about movies, series, video games, music, and sometimes I had to do very poor photo edits, like pasting a famous actor's head on the body of a cartoon character to illustrate the fact that this character will have this famous actor's voice in this movie, or things like that. I was asked to do the shittiest edit possible to make the post funny. Not at my job, but I was once in a documentary of the miners' strike. I got paid to spend a weekend throwing fake rocks at fake cops, shouting at them. It was so much fun. I lucked my way into a test for a soon-to-open psychiatric hospital for criminals. Basically, we had to make as much trouble as we could and try to break out, then report back the flaws we found. Man, that was a fun day. A positive one. I get to teach kids how to play Dungeons and Dragons for 6 weeks every summer. Rolling into work dressed in an elf princess costume and getting to play a game for 7 hours a day, it feels unreal. I'm still incredulous every time that direct deposit hits. Also, as to how I got the job, it honestly just fell into my lap totally out of nowhere. Last year the teacher quit 2 months before camp started. One of the directors is my so's dad and I was living with them at the time. One director called the other to tell him the bad news and figure out what they were going to do. I was depressed on the couch because I'd been out of a job and having a hell of a time getting a new one. He came to me as they were on the phone talking about the situation, trying to find another teacher, and asked me if I wanted a job teaching D&D. I said yes, and now they keep telling me I'm one of the best teachers they've ever had and definitely the best D&D instructor. I'm hoping to be with the camp for many years to come like many of the other teachers. Oh hey, I can answer this one. I'm a dog trainer and we help dogs that are reactive to other dogs when on leash. That is, barking lunge at dogs when on walks. And one of the ways we do this is to drag a stuffed dog around. Looks realistic. At a distance, you even talk to the stuffed dog, pet it, and pretend to feed it. All of this is happening while another trainer feeds the real dog anytime they see the fake dog. I've legit been asked if I'm crazy before until people figure out we are training a dog. Literally 70% of my time at work is spent sitting at my desk bullshitting around. Pretty much that. Yeah, pretty much. Not at my current job, we're pretty busy right now, but at my last job, they were literally paying me 6 figures to read it all day in my private office. Honestly, I hated it. I like actually having things to do at work. Not 8 hours worth, but something, please. Client wanted to do a small tenant improvement to their existing office space and had existing PDF drawings of the office building, floor plans, cross sections etc. I quoted the client $2K for architectural permit plans, which would include redrawing the existing PDFs in AutoCAD and then drawing the proposed plans. Before I started the task of redrawing the PDFs, I had the idea. I Google searched PDF to DWG converter. To my surprise, there were many softwares that did this type of conversion. I managed to finish the entire project in about 5 hours. Working in IT, getting paid to be a professional Googler basically. I'm not an expert, I just Google at a higher level. anytime a client takes me out for lunch or invites me to a golf or shooting tourney. But the craziest for me was when I was taken to a 4-hour lunch to a high-end steakhouse on Warren Buffett's credit card. That was pretty dope. The company I work for is owned by Warren Buffett. When we use the corporate card for lunch, we always make sure to thank Uncle Warren. Probably the opposite end of the spectrum than intended, but I work as a professional photo retoucher for a mid-sized e-commerce site that focuses on women's clothing. So one day I was going through and editing lookbook images, meaning we outsourced a photographer, got a more expensive model, and shot on location. And in order to know which images, we have a spreadsheet which gives me an image number, a deadline, and editing notes, which is something specific they want done to the image. This is where things getting interesting. I'm working my way through all of my edits when I come to an image number with a single editing note: remove horse genitals. Of course I think it's odd and kinda funny, but only expect to maybe have to remove a couple equine testes. So I open the image. The model in a field sporting a yellow fluffy coat walking a horse by the reins, and a massive, fully unsheathed, red rocket hanging low, as I spent the next 5 minutes gingerly and artfully making sure this PP doesn't make it to the public. I couldn't help but keep asking myself how TF I am being paid to Photoshop away a horse's D. Sounds like an honest product review. Could have left it in. This coat is sure to get a rise out of the stud in your life. I'm a waiter, and if there's a mistake or a takeaway no show, we get to eat it. Often we get paid to stand around and smear pizza. I had to rub oil on a model's leg for a photoshoot. It was a positive. I can't believe I'm getting paid for this. Don't worry, we'll catch our break too. Just have to keep our eye out for it. Mine are all pretty minor, but this is my favorite. Marketing has Macs. There's a recall on a battery for the MacBook one guy has. In theory, I could have mailed it straight to Apple and they would mail it back. But instead I drove 30 minutes south to a computer store that would mail it for me. I ate Mexican food. I drove back. And then a week or so later, I drove down and picked it up. I did not eat Mexican because the call came in late Friday and I had already eaten. I got paid 2 hours mileage, one lunch to deliver someone's MacBook to a store because they're too busy and important to do it themselves. And I am perfectly okay with that.